using the internet? Would there be more women or less women? Guess. Just guess.
I would say men.
Why?
Just games. I went to the Philippines and they were always like playing game in the internet.
Okay. What else?
The demographics of the Philippines, how is it generally? Is it 50-50 or more women?
What is the demography? There's a little bit more women. Yeah, 50%, little bit. Yes?
Because it's used to, they are paying prepaid the cards which need money, a lot of you need to have money. It's an internet cafe.
Uh-huh.
Maybe women go out less.
Okay. What else? What about in terms of, let's say, after school? What is your sort of assumptions around education and people? Because these are urban-based mainly, right? So would you say they're more educated? Because that's the other thing. You're thinking like, okay, the people who actually use are more educated. So would you say if more educated, how would it be more likely more women or more men?
Likely more women.
Huh?
If my memory is good, it seems women in Philippines is more educated.
Aha! So there's the rub. I think that's it. I mean, that's what I okay, she was saying that that if her memory serves her right, the data in the Philippines is that more women are educated than men. And that's exactly the data. Here is the data. And this comes from, this is a fact sheet on Filipino women in 2004 that was done by our National Commission on the Role of Filipino Women. And data after data says that functional literacy, more women, you look at this, in enrollment indicators, more females, as well as completion rates for elementary and secondary, more women. But these are two disparate, disparate information that I sort of looked at. But this is, and I just want to demonstrate how you can have assumptions if you just look at that data of access and use and say, oh yeah, but I'm sure there's more men here and that women are less educated maybe, so that there's more, and that because generally there's more, women's levels of education generally are less than men, but in the Philippines that's not the case. But then the further question there is, okay, so if women are more educated, does that mean that they have much more use of the internet? Does that follow? Why not?
It could be cultural issues. I mean, again, don't know enough about Philippines, but maybe better than, let's say, a country in South Asia. But access, and then after evening hours usage, after school also, the boys might have those spare hours as compared to girls who must come home to finish their chores.
Exactly.
So can't really say.
So exactly. So it says there that more people use the patterns of use that they use it after work. What does after work mean? After work means like after office maybe, after factory, but I'd say office, yeah, or because it's more like urban based, maybe more educated. So after office, but then what do women do normally after work?
Cook.
They might do domestic work, I mean, so again, you go deeper and deeper, and then you then find all these details. So it's a way of, so it's not just simply because it's not education only, it's also what they do, what their roles are. So it's a very simple internet use. Huh? It's very simple. You have a telecenter or whatever, even if it's just a cafe, a cyber cafe. Put it there, oh yeah, because women are educated anyway, they'll use it, but they might have other things that they're doing. Or the gaming, for example, as you say, which is true. I mean, it's true. Unfortunately, there's a lot of gaming, but then would girls come, do you think again, that comes out. So I think you get the picture in terms of how you surface the gender issues in terms of looking at it, and also in terms of trying to find data, because in fact there could be other data, other indicators that might help us in terms in looking at what the issues are. So that's my second example there. And I think, and just to push this further, I have here an example, and I won't go into it. The third page here is called Engendering the Knowledge Society Measuring Women's Participation, and where, in fact, this study was done by Sophia Heyer and Nancy Hafkin, funded also by IDRC with Orbicom, etc. And what they have done is they've done an overview of ICT indicators and looked at women's participation, gender, content. It's a very good publication. It's going to be launched here on the 11th, December 11th. There's a workshop that will talk about this. And the conclusion, it's probably predictable, with one minor exception, is that none of the major ICT or STI, Science, Technology, Innovation, frameworks address gender issues in the knowledge society or incorporate sex disaggregated data and other gender indicators. And at the same time, none of the gender equality indices that we have currently incorporate ICT and SNT or knowledge society issues. So what they are wanting to do is to develop, in fact, a framework for gender equality and knowledge society index. I just wanted to throw that in because I think that might be a very useful thing for some of the projects that are looking at research, that are looking at developing, like this project you're doing, you know, to see what kinds of indicators you can find, and how to actually develop some of those indicators. And also, I looked at this example because some of you said you were interested in indicators. And just to highlight this major finding of one of their studies, which was the study before they did this book, is this one. Women's rate of internet access and use will not automatically rise with national rates of internet penetration. And that's across the board. That's their finding. And as we've discussed, you know, because of different factors. Okay. And lastly, I think this is the last one. I also did for you, and you'll see here, this one is actually from the book itself. There's one, this is like an example of how they want to develop the indicators there. Okay, why is, and the very last handout is why is poverty different for women and men, okay? And that in fact says how current ways of measuring poverty that do not pick up gender differences. So these are just some of examples there. And I thought this would be useful because a lot of the ICT for development projects are looking at their impact around poverty, looking at how it contributes to, you know, to addressing poverty. Okay, so again, you'll see measurements here. You'll see that even if we just go to the first one, the statistics usually focus on household, not individual, so they don't pick up on unequal treatment within a family. And we think we've seen that. One of the things you look at, for example, in household is, you know, female-headed household. How is that different from male-headed households? But yeah, so I hope that that is useful. And finally, yeah, there. I think that's that. I'll stop there for now and see if you have other questions, and then we can do the bus groups.